السلام عليكم، شكرا لحضوركم اليوم. Today is February 22nd, 2020. Today we talk about important topics, which is how to avoid plagiarism. Because all of you are grad students, and eventually you are going to write manuscript and thesis or dissertation. So you have to learn how to write or do academic writing. Academic writings, you need to read other resources, external resources, and try to use your own words to write the summary or to paraphrase those articles. So you will read external sources, understand those sources, and try to rewrite those sources in your own words. Because we cannot copy and paste what's written inside other articles. Every author has his own way of writing and property. So every writing would consider like it's property of this author. You cannot copy the content and paste it in your manuscript or thesis. You need to read it, understand the content, rewrite it in your own words, and at the end of the sentence, you will put citation. You will put reference. We call in-text citation. We have two types of citation. We have in-text at the end of each sentence. If you borrow this sentence from other sources, you need to put at the end of your sentence the original source. It depends on sometimes they put numbers. Then at the end of the thesis, you will put the whole references. It depends on the types of references. Sometimes they put the first author, which is the last name of the first author, and the year. So it depends on which type of referencing you are going to use. But you need to know you cannot copy and paste. If you need to copy and paste something, you can copy and paste something very small, and you need to put quotation mark, two quotes from the beginning of the text you borrowed and at the end also. So when you put quotation marks, that means this is not your sentence. But you cannot do this all the time. You can only use this maybe 5% or less of your text. So you cannot put everything under quotation mark. So the best way to avoid, if you copy and paste without putting quotation and citation at the end, this would call it plagiarism. Plagiarism comes from the Latin word, is something you steal. Because this is the intellectual rights. This is peak because the other authors, they put too much effort and time to write something. And you just steal their ideas. You will tell me, but I'm citing this author. I say it's not enough. If you use the exact words, you need to put quotation mark plus citation, both. If you do paraphrasing or summarizing, you only put citation without quotation mark. So the best thing, the best idea, the best idea how to avoid plagiarism, we need to improve our writing skill. So take advantage of the English course you are learning in this semester. You are already taking English course. You need to put efforts in this course because they will teach you how to write, and you overcome this because the main reason people they do plagiarism because they don't have confidence, self-confidence about their writing, which is not good. You need to learn how to write to avoid plagiarism. So it's not a good way to plagiarize. So learn the definition and example of plagiarism, identify this lecture also we will talk about identify consequence of plagiarism. It's like especially in the developed world, they have severe punishment to the student if they identify them as plagiarized. Even here, We don't encourage you to plagiarize. We discourage you from plagiarism because we also have kind of software. Dr. Muwaffaq has this software. We can identify the percentage of plagiarized, and you will be punished academically for this kind of intellectual dishonesty. It's dishonesty. This is the synonym. Dishonesty because if you brought something from external source without appropriate citation, you did something wrong. It's dishonest behavior. Okay? I don't want you as grad student to start. So some grad students, they do this intentionally, others they do it unintentionally. And unintentionally mean because they have no idea they did something wrong, which is unintentional. That's why we try to teach you the concept, to make you aware about plagiarism. So you be aware, there is no excuse about, I have no idea, you didn't teach me, you didn't tell me this is there. You need to know, I already taught you this, I already informed you, so now you are fully responsible. So the second type will be the intentional, because now, after this lecture, I will assume any plagiarism will be intentional. Because I excluded the unintentional one, because you will be aware after this lecture. So the other type, which is the intentional, I don't want you to put you in the intentional one. Clarify how to code, paraphrase, summarize. This is the way we can avoid plagiarism. Exercises about paraphrasing, and hopefully we have time for this. So, plagiarism, basically, dishonest practice in the publication of research results. Anything about copy-paste and cut-paste is not recommended. Try to avoid it, unless it's very unique term, it's very required term, and you need to use it, that's fine, just borrow it, put 2 quotation marks, put reference at the end, okay? So you can, in this way, you appropriately cite the other people, so now you are safe. This is not plagiarism after you put quotation mark and citation. Definition. This term is coming from plagiarism, which is coming from kidnapping. You kidnap someone. يعني خطفت فكرة خطفت. So plagiarism is someone using someone else's intellectual product, such as text, ideas, result. So it's not only limited to the text. You could steal ideas without giving credit. If someone gives you the idea of something, of research, you need to mention this in you need to give acknowledgement, you need to put it as co-author, because this is not your idea. You cannot steal the idea from someone and you do the research about this idea without giving the credit to the originator, to the first one who helped you to get the idea. You need to take the permission. I'm going to use your idea, is that okay? He say, if this person needs to be co-author, you will have negotiation about the rules of the co-authors, and eventually you are going to have collaboration. That's fine. But don't steal ideas without giving credit. Plagiarism can occur intentionally or unintentionally. I already say unintentional means when you are unaware. Hopefully you will be aware after this lecture. Plagiarism is a growing scientific misconduct, moral problem in the academic world. And this is it's similar to the cheating. It's similar to the cheating. Some journals experience up to 1/3 of the published manuscript. That's why the journals now, they have these softwares, Turnitin or other ones, they can identify the percentage of plagiarized material. So they have something, software, they copy your manuscript, put it in the software. The software will tell, they do research all over the search engines. They will say if you plagiarize or no. So don't think your plagiarism will go through, because someone will catch you, okay? Keep in mind, super easy now because
Percentage of advertisement is 0?
it depends. Sometimes if you do some quotation, they accept 5% or they have limited percent. But you need to do it appropriately with quotations and other one. So it depends on the material, but it's not more like 5 or 10 max. Depends on the topics. I'm not sure about this percent, but I imagine you will have some terms, they are repeated terms, and you can use them, okay, with appropriate citation. Plagiarism example, copying data, graphs, computers, photo, videos. So try to teach you some basics. Even if you need to borrow pictures or photos or graphs from other authors, you need to cite them appropriately. Keep in mind, you cannot borrow pictures or figures from previous studies and put it in your studies without permission. You usually, if you need to use the same figure or the same picture from previous study, in your manuscript, okay? You need to send an email to the journal and say, I need to replicate or reprint this one in my study, and they will ask you for details. If you have the same co-author, to be easier, like the same collaborator. This is my manuscript, I already published in this journal, and I need to use it in the second manuscript, will be easy. But I need to take permission, they will give you some codes, they put it there, this figure reprinted or borrowed from this journal, published in this year, this volume, this issue, with all. So you'll be safe side. Don't put it in your thesis or manuscript without doing this. If you need to, this figure, you really like it, you need to put, you do it by yourself and put citation. You say, this figure was adapted with modification or without modification from this site, and put the reference. So you will avoid don't bring some pictures, because I reviewed some theses last year. They put pictures and figures from somewhere else and they put that citation there. The citation is not enough. You need to take permission from the source, because the copyright transfer to the journal. So you need to take permission from the journal, not just from the author. And eventually you put this sentence. If you fail to do this citation appropriately, it will consider plagiarism. Paraphrasing without credit to the source. Don't write something, it's not your idea. You wrote it in someone else's manuscript and you put it in your thesis without reference. Even you do paraphrasing, you need to put, always you need to put citation, in-text citation at the end of the sentence. If you do paraphrasing, summarizing, anything, quotation mark for sure, you put citation at the end. At the end of each sentence, not just at the end of each paragraph. Keep in mind, after each sentence, you put citation to avoid plagiarism. Presentation of ideas of other without credit to the source. We learned this from the University of Iowa College of Liberal Arts. This is the link. It's a required course. When I was grad student in the University of Iowa, they have something called academic integrity course. I took this course for like 4 semesters, 2 years, as a PhD student. So what they make sure you know what's wrong, what's right in the academic writing. Plagiarism can be divided to direct and indirect. Direct is complete or partially copying of text without proper citation. This is clear. You do something, you brought something, this is direct. Indirect, borrowing ideas. So something is not written there, but it's still plagiarism. If it's Maha ideas, and I talked with Maha, and I took Maha idea, and I did the project, without giving Maha the credit or without asking her to be one of my co-authors, and she went realized this is my idea. That's why this problem is not just here in our like academic institution. It's a global problem. It's everywhere. So sometimes people don't talk with others, with competitors about their new ideas. Like if you have your own lab, if you have your own students, and I'm your competitor, they usually don't talk because the ideas, some people, they will steal ideas as well. Keep in mind, this is global problem, not just here, okay? Keep in mind, people can steal ideas. The idea is, imagine, the idea is very important because especially the innovative ideas, people, they can steal it. Self-plagiarism. If you wrote something in previous publications, you cannot put it without citation. You need to cite yourself. Cite the previous manuscript. Still working. So, even it's your own words, but you transfer the copyright to the journal. Okay, if it's published in the journal, you transfer the copyright to the journal. Now the journal has the copyright. If you need to write something or use something, you need to take permission from the journal and cite the previous article. Okay? The consequences of academic misconduct in the University of Iowa. This is at the university. They have clear steps of punishment. They have first, often the first offense, second one, and third offense. And as you can see, the first one is not that much. They will only suspend the students for a short time. They ask you to complete online course for about academic integrity, and eventually you have to pay $100 as penalty. This is if they catch you at the first time. If you are caught for the second time, the punishment will be more severe. For the second one, you will be suspended from the college. Suspend depends on how long. So this is the second. The third time, there will be no excuse. You are out. They will kick you out from the university, whole the university. And the bad news is, they not only kick you out from the university, they put in your record, you did something like cheating, dishonesty, or plagiarism. No other university will accept you ever. You are out of academia. As student, as faculty member, whatever. Keep in mind, this will ruin your academic life forever. That's why they are very serious. They will not give excuse, especially for the third time, because the first time, second time, you are unaware first time, second time you are aware, third time there is no excuse. I am giving you this because they already put this in our mind before we started the grad students. And it's not so late for you, even in the second semester study. You still didn't start your project, you will have time. This semester you will start your research, you will start a special problem, you will need to write something. Next semester you are writing your thesis and your manuscripts, so you haven't started yet. So that's why we are giving you this in timely manner to be aware about all these issues. Consequence of plagiarism, we already mentioned this, but this is the other ones from the University of Iowa in the United States. This one in general, it's unfair act. Why we are against plagiarism? Because it's unfair. Someone put so much time and effort, someone else stole the idea or the text without giving the credit to the originator. So it's if we accept it, it will affect the student interpretation. It will make it unfair, or there is no quality in the academics. So we don't accept it. What other consequences? It will be legal consequences plus academic consequences. Academic consequences, they can expel you from the university. For the legal consequences, they may sue you in the court. Because if you steal something from the company or from the, they may take out your degree. And I heard someone in the States who took the PhD was plagiarized thesis, and after they know that, after a couple years of his degree, I cannot remember the person, but eventually they took the degree. They put the degree down. So keep in mind, they have this retrospective action. So it will ruin their student reputation. If it's professional, it will ruin professional reputation. It will affect the academic reputations, and legally they can sue you in the court. Consequences of plagiarism could be monetary. They will ask for monetary recompensation, or eventually, if the manuscripts of the journals, they know this manuscript is plagiarized, they may give you on the put you on the blacklist. They will not allow you to publish in there for a couple of years. So even the journals, they will punish you, or they can put you in the prison if it's very severe cases. How to avoid unintentional? We talk about avoid unintentional. Avoid unintentional, because we cannot avoid the intentional one. Intentional means you know it's wrong and you do it. This is your choice, but you will be punished, or you will pay the price for this one. But we can avoid the unintentional one. We need to improve our academic writings. Okay? Improve our academic writings. You can do this in the English course. You can watch YouTubes. You can read some writing skills in English. You improve your writing skills in English. I know English is second. You are the second English speaker. The English is the second language for you guys. So you need to improve your English skills and writing and grammar to avoid. So always your supervisor will help you to avoid this problem. But you need to learn, because eventually after you graduate with master's degree, you will be supervisor, or you will be faculty member, or you will be responsible somewhere. You will be the PI in the research, and you have to teach other co-authors and other researchers, because you will be the leader now. So you are a student now, you have the opportunity to learn and to take advantage from your mistake. That's fine. If you do mistakes now in the writing, you need to learn from your advisor, from your supervisor. But after you graduate, people will expect something high from you. You will give, like they say, this person has a MS degree and supposed to have experience in the writing and supposed to have better writing than us. They will ask you how to write, and they may ask you to write a letter in English for some company if you are going to work in the company or in academia, because they will expect you are a graduate now. You are a master graduate, so they put expectation for you. They say you know now better than them. So take advantage to learn from this process in this semester. To avoid plagiarism, we need to learn rules of quotation, paraphrasing, summarizing, and prevent unintentional accidental plagiarism. If we copy other exact words, we use quotation mark. If we use the exact text. But there is limit for quotation, more than this answer for your question, not more than 10%. Keep in mind. You cannot copy and paste everything. According to Purdue online writing, I like the Purdue website, it's very helpful. You can go to Purdue website for the writing, and you can take tips from there. You can find the resources online everywhere, especially in the high quality universities such as Purdue, University of Iowa, or other US universities. They will give you tips how to write, how to avoid plagiarism. Quotation, sometimes we use it for the qualitative test, like for the, if you do interview with some participants, you will take their words and put them quotation mark. So quotation, sometimes we put it for the other people. Like if you watch the U.S. politicians, when they say something, they do this. That's mean this is not mine. I brought it from somewhere else. So this is the quotation and the verbal word. I know it's informal, but how to avoid plagiarism? We have 3 keys to avoid plagiarism. First of all, quote, which is the easiest one. If I cannot replicate it in my own words, I have to put quotes like that. It could be a couple words, or could be text, it could be phrase, could be one sentence. I cannot borrow a whole paragraph and quote it. It's not appropriate. Mostly people borrow phrase, like 5, 6, 7 words, max 1 sentence in maximum. Like WHO definition or something. It's very unique definition. I can borrow it, which is 1 sentence. I can borrow it, put quotation mark and citation at the end. So keep in mind, it's okay. The second key is paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is also commonly used, but I heard from some students or supervisors, they use it inappropriately. For example, I cannot replicate the same sentence, only change few words. I need to change the structure of the sentence. And keep in mind, you always want to keep the meaning, keep the original meaning. Use your own words, but keep the meaning. You cannot change the meaning. If you change the meaning, you cannot cite the original article. Read it, understand, then write it in your own words and cite it. For example, here, this is I have this one. An Iranian study used cells and found that 30.3% of participants had inadequate health literacy. Let's see, this is the quotation. So for the quotation, quotation we need to use, we cannot paraphrase and put quotation. We cannot do both at the same time. For this one, why it's wrong? We did kind of paraphrasing and we put quotation. An Iranian study used this one, and this is kind of, I'm paraphrasing, I'm summarizing what the Iranian study did. So I cannot put quotation mark now. When I can use the quotation mark? When I use the exact words, okay? The exact results from other study, like the exact terms. So this is paraphrasing. I don't have to put quotation. I only put, this is the in-text citation, okay? But paraphrasing, I need to restate what the author said in my own words. It could be shorter. Like 1 sentence, can I paraphrase it in 1 sentence? I can paraphrase 2 sentences in 1 sentence. Usually the paraphrasing either the same length or shorter. I cannot put, like, try to expand. It's not appropriate. 1 minute remaining? Okay, good. Summarization, we need to read the whole article, the whole summary, the whole abstract. Then try to summarize it in couple sentences. I can summarize the whole study in 1 or 2 or max of 3 sentences. So this is, I like the summarization because you need it. You will need it in the introduction and you will need it in the discussion. As you know, The first, when you use the external sources, mostly we use them in the introduction and the discussion. Sometimes we need them in the methods. But in the results, we don't need the external sources because this is our own results. In the introduction,